Hi.
Hi, Prince. How's everybody doing?
Do you like that? I said nothing and I let you guys say it once.
It's the worst because you just say nothing and then you're like, I got nothing.
Yeah,
so
like,
we do the flip over to the show.
Hey, hi.
Hey, hi. Well, I don't want there to be super, dead air. You know what I'm saying?
Well, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to Breakfast of Champions today, episode 31. Yes, again, it is a number of a show older than the age that I am for a couple more weeks here. We're joined by our wonderful friends, Kitsune Bites and Nerdwire Plays, as well as a live chat here, and of course, those around the globe who are listening and watching after the fact. So thank you so much for being part of the show. We are very stoked to be here. How are you guys?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing really all right.
Nice.
How are you?
How am I?
How are you? Yeah, you.
Yeah, I'm fine. I want to know about how.
You say that with a question mark at the end of it. Like it's always like, I'm fine. Wait, and maybe am I fine?
Yeah,
am I fine?
I'm doing good. I'm tired. I woke up at 7. I've been staying up really late this week, working on a bunch of music because I've got a studio day booked in 8 days. I've been selling off all of my symbols and buying these beautiful K custom hybrid symbols off Facebook Marketplace. So I've been scouring Facebook Marketplace all over Australia to find these. This is very difficult to find, but we're on there. We've got 20 plus songs ready to record next Monday for 2 vinyls. I've been busting my ass, man. I'm exhausted.
Dude, I'm so excited for the new music, like legit excited for the new music. Not to make anyone jealous, but I've seen a little bit of a teaser of the cover art. It looks awesome. It looks so good, and I can't wait to see what you do with all of that in that entire project.
Should I? I'll just. Well, actually, no, I can't tease it here.
Well,
maybe I
tease
can.
It here.
Maybe
you can.
I'll tease it. Why not? I got nothing better to do. I'll airdrop it from my Mac to my phone.
Airdrop.
Ready? Here, I'll give you a little airdrop here. Here's a turn-based volume 2 sneak peek cover art.
Hey, look at that.
Anyway, KB, what's going on in your neck of the woods? You got a new PC and everything just fell apart.
Yeah, I got a new PC and everything decided it was gonna not work. So yeah, I got a new PC and I had these Corsair Vengeance Pro cards that I pulled out of my old one. It's 32 gigabytes. I put that in the new one and everything went to hell. So then I put the old 16 gigabyte ones back in, or the new 16 gigabyte ones back in that it came with. The computer part's fine, but now I'm having some insane audio issues, and I'm using a Razer XLR mixer, so I'm not sure why every once in a while it just wants to stop working. So I'm think on Amazon I'm getting myself a Go XLR Mini, but I won't be able to probably do streams or anything next week until it shows up because my microphone will be plugged into nothing. So fun times.
What about your other
times.
mic? You got your other USB mic.
Yeah, I could do that.
Just use that. It sounded great.
Yeah.
You sounded great before.
I know, but I want to use
take a week off,
man.
You've got too much good steam going on with that awesome stream.
I know.
You've got going right now. Don't take a week off.
It's Minecraft of all things, man. So like, I don't know what happened, man. Minecraft has been doing good for me. So I finally found the spot where I was trying to show people, and did that beforehand. Everything's good there. So I don't know, man. Things have been mostly good, I guess. I mean, I got nothing else. I mean, I bought new sunglasses today.
Nice.
So that's something
Great.
Yeah.
Let's see them. You got to put those. You can't just talk about them and not wear them.
He's got them there.
He's bad.
Yeah, he's got them.
I'm saying, like, you know what I mean? Come on, man. Come on.
Just compliment your face so well. You look cooler than both of us.
Oh, well, that's not hard to do.
Ouch. Okay. Well, pay a compliment. Get bit in the hand. I see how it goes. On that note, no more bragging on KP and talking about his stuff. Jesus. Anyway, my week's been really good too, but I haven't done much of anything. I've done well. Let me backspace. I don't leave my house as often anymore as I used to.
Hell yeah.
But I started some new TV stuff that I haven't had the chance to watch. And guys, like seriously, if you don't have this on your watch list, Hello Tomorrow. I know KB does. I was talking about it with him on Apple TV Plus. It's so freaking good. It's like a Fallout type show, but it's not Fallout. It's not based in that at all. My dogs are going crazy in the background. I'm sorry, guys. But it's very good, very different, like nuclear future, retro 50s inspired. This dude's selling timeshares on the moon, basically, and it's like snake oil. He's like sending people, taking their money, and it's so good. It's very good. I'm not gonna spoil any more than that. And then me and Mrs. Nerd got back into the Marvel stuff pretty hardcore. Nice. So like catching up on all that jazz. Watched Shang-Chi this week. Started Miss Marvel after the show tonight. We have a TV date planned in the basement where we're just gonna retire and watch some more Marvel stuff. I'm
Moon
so
Knight.
excited.
Nice.
Moon Knight is really good.
Moon Knight's so good. It's so good. Moon Knight's great. I wish they'd hurry up and do a new season of that too, because that last season with the craziness of how it ended in that like alternate dimension after Death Realm. Like I'm not going to spoil much more.
So good.
But it was very good.
It was a very great show.
I did a lot of like outside yard work because we had 70 degrees for the last like almost week, and then yesterday it sleeted and snowed here, and I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Garden bed lights out there, man.
Thanks for that. If you didn't say it was snowing, I wouldn't have been doing that here. So I appreciate that a whole lot.
Me so angry. Like all I want is 70 degrees all the time. Where's my global warming? Bring it back. Like, why did you do this, Mother Nature?
It's in Australia. Eric said it's been like 100 degrees
you
down
that
there.
94 beach day degree, like with the breeze blowing in your hair.
You know,
we went to the beach yesterday for a little bit. Of course, it's very difficult to get my son out of the house because he just likes to sit and play toys or watch a show or whatever. So anytime we go anywhere, it's like, no, I don't want to go. And then when we do finally go, he just has an emotional breakdown in the car because we didn't bring his blankies with him, or we're missing. You know how it is. So then we finally get going. We go get ice cream, and we just went to the beach, and it was nice. Last couple of days, the weather was like, it was like almost 100 degrees on Friday. But it was, it's good. It's been good weather, and it's been a decent week all week around. Like I said, I've been busy doing stuff. I streamed 4 times this week, and I put out 2 videos. You know how much effort that takes? Look at me. No wonder why I look so damn tired. I'm drained.
Your beard went away partly, and so
I gave myself a wig chop yesterday. Needed to be done.
It looks good.
I gotta say, you know what I do is I don't go to a barber anymore because during the when the whole world was closed down, I just started doing it myself. So it's like a beard trimmer on the sides, and then when it gets really thick, I take a razor and I just lift my hair up and I thin it out, and I just kind of layer it that way. So
it's not bad. It looks good. You look clean.
Like I said, if it's gonna look like I might as well do it myself. So what the heck? It's free.
So you talked about going to the beach. You go to the beach a lot. Is that like? Because I am very Anakin Skywalker on this. I hate sand. Like, it gets everywhere. Like, do you like the beach? I know Amber is not the largest fan of said beach, but
I like beach vibes. I like the few of the towns that we live near. I would actually love to live there if we could, although it's of course very touristy and upmarket and very expensive to live there. But I would love to live near a beach. I just like coastal vibes. I think the cool thing is like, if I'm going to live in Australia, I don't want to live like in the frickin' outback. You know what I mean? I want to live near the coast, which is what I do now. And it's 5 minutes down the road from a handful of beaches. And last year, when I had more time and I wasn't working full time, I would always take my son to the beach. Like I remember there was one day where I took him to the beach like 9 a.m. The water was like so warm. A couple weeks later, I remember we had a really good memory of I have him on my shoulders, and there was like a school of fish coming in, swimming around us. It was awesome. It was great. Because I didn't grow up near the beach at all. I never went to the beach. So this is a very new experience for me.
Well, I get it, dude. I get it. Like, I live in rural middle of America, kind of like there's no beaches. Like, the closest thing to a beach is like a pond beach or a lake beach. And it's not even like, that's not the same.
Closest thing for a beach for me is Lake Erie, and that's 2.5 hours away, man.
Lake Erie, man.
I'm gonna strangle a Marty. Like, he needs to stop screaming. I hear him go, ah! Like, it's insane.
Somebody get that dog some treats.
Hey, man. He has
I mean,
things to say.
He does. Listen, we should do a pets only podcast and just put them in front of the camera for like an hour.
Only
That should be Patreon
Sammy's
stuff.
Sammy's already there, dude.
So, thanks to Pats, of course, for being wonderful. But I will also want to thank these 14 people here for supporting on Patreon. Of course, you can get 3 tiers, more content, more often. So, thank you to these people right here for supporting the show and being a part of the breakfast crew. 14 people on Patreon, dude. That's ridiculous. Is that 40? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so we're missing somebody. That's my bad. That's on me. But thank you.
Dang it.
And yeah, we appreciate you guys hanging in there and supporting us over there. So pre-show stuff for last week didn't go up. That's my bad. I completely forgot about that, but I'm going to upload that today. And of course, pre-show for 31 is going to go up tomorrow as well. And we'll be up to scratch with some bonus stuff here soon. Unfortunately, next week at this time, or as of right now, we will not be doing a show as usual. I still need to figure out a time slot because next week is my son's 3rd birthday party. And
or his first, depending on how you want to look at it.
Well, first is next year.
Oh shoot, he didn't even make it a 1.
He's not even 1 yet. And then Amber's going to a Harry Styles concert, so it's going to be a hell of a weekend.
Man,
you were gonna have one watermelon sugar high.
Yeah, what are you gonna do with yourself, man? You're gonna be all over the place. You're gonna be all over the place.
Lost. He's like, I have no wife. My kid's an older person now. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I'd probably just sit and work on music, dude. The clock is ticking. I gotta get a ton of stuff done.
Hell yeah,
dude! That's so exciting.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. That sounds like a good time.
And
I could put on a concert for you if you want me to.
Exactly. I was gonna say. Not only that, we also have Nerdwire who can put on a concert anytime. You know, Mr. Hot Dog JPEG. So.
Fine. It'll just be that for an hour and a half
on a loop. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh jeez. Oh jeez.
Oh, yeah.
No voicemail today. No voicemail.
But if you want to call, exclamation point call, I think we'll pump the number into there. If it doesn't, one of the mods will get it. Nope, it doesn't.
If not, it's the phone number is 1-315-314-4190.
Oh, there it is.
Voicemail.
One of the mods actually knows better than I do. Thank you,
yes, thank you so much. So with that being said, I mean, we can flick on over to our Newsbyte because we got a ton of stuff to talk about this week, and
we do.
As usual, it's a jam-packed week. So let's go ahead and talk about this.
Listen, guys, you know I'm super stoked about one thing and one thing only that's getting ready to come out in April 7th, April 6th in America land. If you are going to a midnight launch, which is not at midnight, it'll be at 7 p.m. I'm so excited. I wish I could just pre-buy tickets today. But it's a Super Mario Bros. Movie. And they finally showed the runtime for this movie. That hit based on some listings for the Film Classification Office. And it is currently listed at just over 92 minutes long. 92 minutes, 14 seconds exactly, including credits. I have some feelings about it because there seems to be a lot in this movie. A lot in this movie. And I know like pacing for animated films is always a little bit different than the pacing for like actual like real life people doing acting films. But like they've got everyone from Spike to the Kongs all the way over to Bowser doing his thing, Magic Koopas, Princess Peach. Looks like Mario Kart in action is included in there. They've got to introduce all the Toad Town. Like it is very in depth. And I don't know how I feel about just being 92 minutes long. That's an hour and 42 minutes, or 32 minutes, hour and 32 minutes. I don't think that's near enough. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Do you feel like it's enough?
No. Yeah, for Mario Movie 1, and then they'll do this one will sell gangbusters, and then they'll do Mario Movie 2, and then it'll be like Rise of Donkey Kong or something. And then they'll do Mario Movie 3, where Peach just doesn't need Mario anymore, and she's her own strong, independent woman. She don't need no man. You know what I'm saying?
She needs him in this movie, dude. Like she's walking out with a battle axe and jumping on her cart and being like, "All right, for Sparta."
That's what I mean. Like they introduce all that now, and then you know what I mean. Then they can draw it out.
I don't know, dude.
Cash cow, baby, cash cow.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong. I think it's disappointing because the length of the movie is pretty short. I think it's fine for an animated movie, but judging by the trailers and stuff, I feel like we've already seen the movie. I feel like I've seen probably 10% of the movie already with how much they've shown. They're gonna have to do a really quick setup in order to expedite Mario getting the Mushroom Kingdom. So it's probably gonna be like 15 minutes of Mario and Luigi in Brooklyn saying, "Hey, yo, let me lay some pipe," and then they're gonna go to the Mushroom Kingdom. And they're going to be lost, and that's going to be that. And then they're going to somehow rescue the princess. I mean, it's going to be over before you know it. It's not long.
Well,
I guess, when I look at it, like I think about a lot of the Pixar films, especially nowadays, like Disney stuff and what they're putting out, it's like an hour and 45 minutes or something like that. Normally is about the runtime that you're seeing. A lot of times, Toy Story 1 was like an hour and 21 minutes for the very first one.
Oh, really?
But it didn't seem as cram-packed. Like, it didn't seem as cram-packed back in the day. Like, there wasn't that much that happened into it. They went to Pizza Planet.
Mm-hmm.
They left Pizza Planet. They got locked in Sid's room for 3 days, and then we're back over in Andy's yard. Two's a little different, but it's an hour and 35 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
3's an hour and 48. I don't even remember how long 4 was.
I mean, the longest
seemed like
that was it. So I have a list here of the longest Pixar movies. Number 1 being Incredibles 2 at an hour and 57 minutes.
I love that movie.
Toy Story 4 an hour and 40. The second longest Pixar movie is Cars 1 at an hour and 56 minutes. So just a minute shy of that number 1 spot. But
film.
like, I mean, the shortest one is Toy Story, an hour and 20, and the one right, bringing up the rear there is Monsters Inc. at an hour 32. So like,
and I mean, Mario is like shorter than that. Like, it's shorter than that.
I think it's I mean, how long do you want to sit through a cartoon movie, man?
Well, the thing is like there's already an origin story for Mario. Like, how are they going to set that up? See, with Toy Story, we didn't have that Toy Story lore. Whereas Mario, like, we know all that stuff, and we want to see as much of it as we can. There's more at stake for a movie that's a little bit shorter, considering Mario's. Mario's been around for 40 years now, really. I mean, he debuted in Donkey Kong in like 83 or something, or 82.
35th anniversary was 2 years ago. That's crazy. 37 years old. So, I mean, it's, maybe I can backspace a little bit. We don't need the quote unquote origin story, but I don't know. It just seems like they're cramming a lot in a very short period of time, like a lot. And you're not going to spend a lot of time in these like scenic areas that they're showing. So
we'll see. But I'll savor every minute, and I'm going to try and take my son to the cinema. I don't know how well that's going to go, but if I could take my son to go see the Mario movie, that would be like the proudest dad moment. And if like, not only that, if he actually sits there and is engaged rather than saying, "Dad, I don't want to be here anymore," I'll be so heartbroken.
Will this be his first movie that he's went to, like in the theater?
Yep, never been to the theaters.
I took Trip to see Toy Story 4. What number are we on? The latest one, 5.
4 was the latest one, yeah.
I took him to go see 4. He did really good. Not that good prior, because I think I'd taken him to see Frozen, the most recent Frozen also. And he did really bad with that one. I was like real close to leaving. We had to get up and stand in the aisle. Luckily, we were the only people in the theater because that movie had been out for 3 weeks, which is how I usually take him to see movies.
Okay, that's probably what we'll have to do then.
Yep. Yeah, but. Okay. The last movie I took him to see the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in theaters. He sat through the entire thing. Nice. That was a packed theater too, because it's like free movie for kids weekend day. It was really good. Really good. Aaron, you have something on Newsbyte though next, don't you?
I do. So you guys know I'm a big VR guy, and PS5's VR2 is impressive, but is it really worth the entry fee?
$550. Wow.
$550 is what's going to get you PSVR 2. Now, I love my Oculus. I have an Oculus One that I absolutely adored. That was, I think, like $300. And then the Oculus 2 came out at around, I think, $300 or $400. It's really good, and it's all standalone. So PlayStation, if you had PSVR 1, you know how much of a headache it was to set that up, because you had a ton of boxes, you had different cables going everywhere. I mean, it was a nightmare to set up. Sony kind of streamlined this with one singular USB-C cable to your PS5, and this I've talked to a couple people who have pre-ordered, and I kind of asked them, like, why did you? What kind of made you think about getting this? And I'm saying this now before we get into the article. And basically they're saying that it's the cheapest option for them to get this VR headset without having to get a VR capable computer, a VR capable headset, and stay under like, a couple grand. If you're lucky enough to get a PS5, that's $5,000. If you get this, so you're at like $1,050. With only needing one singular cable, that's not too bad. It doesn't use the Move controllers. That's not bad. But
it uses like new proprietary controllers, doesn't it?
It does the same thing the Oculus does. It's using the cameras in the front and sensors in the little like halos there to track where you're at. That's exactly what Oculus uses. The same thing. People don't want Oculus because it's attached to Facebook, but they have since remedied that, so you don't need a Facebook login. You just make an Oculus account and you can
Which is basically a Facebook login. But I digress. Like
it's like they say you don't need it, but I mean, I don't know.
You're still making an account with Facebook.
Yeah, essentially. But anyhow. So our friends at Kotaku, they have this awesome article here that talks about, is this really worth it? And the first little snippet here, VR is not the future of gaming. Rather, it's an active, thriving, wonderful part of its present. I know, right? With many great experiences to enjoy. PSVR 2 joins in on that fun with one of the best headsets you can presently buy, but at a cost of $550. Is it worth it? Determining whether or not it's worth the cost is about more than just the quality of the specific headset. Between its current lineup and coming releases, PSVR 2 has a solid present and a bright immediate future. Even so, keep that wallet closed until you've had to think about all the pros and cons, as well as the alternative VR platforms competing for your attention. This releases February 22nd, so next week, reviewers have already had their hands on this thing. I assume we're going to see something maybe Monday, like Tuesday, maybe for reviews. But as far as like the tech in this thing, it has two OLED panels for your eyes, refresh rate of I think 90 to 100 hertz. I think there's a thing, interpupillary distance. You can, I think you can adjust that more. I know on the Oculus you only have like 3 settings on Oculus 2, but Oculus 1 you were able to adjust that a lot more. So like that's kind of nice.
It's expensive, man. Like I'm looking at, I just had a look at the price in Australia, $879. That is more than what you can get like the digital version of the PS5 for.
I know. Like I gotta be honest here. Like I mean, as far as being cheaper than buying a PC that is VR capable and buying an Index, yes, you're not spending $2,000+, but you're still spending at minimum in America land, at minimum for the digital PS5 and for that like $800, $900 when you could just buy. And that's getting a digital PS5 and the headset when you can just buy the Meta Quest 2 that is out, that is available for the public for $300.
Standalone too with that. Yeah. You don't have to be connected. I mean, this is more for the Sony tryhards, man. For the Sony, I wanna get Sony tattooed on my body, people. Like that's who this is for.
The difference that you got to look at this at is that it isn't for new adopters of this technology in the sense that they aren't already in the PlayStation ecosystem. It's for people who already have a PS5. So I guess when you think about that, well, I've already got the PS5. Yeah. This is $600. It's twice the price, but you get 4K UHD VR experience versus being limited by the processor in a Meta Quest 2. It is a more attractive option, but it's more than twice the price.
There's no game.
It is.
There's no game. I'm looking at the launch games here. Gran Turismo 7 is the only game that I would play, and that would be really cool to play in VR. But
here's the thing. Here's the thing. All those games, they're just considered experiences. They're not games. They're It's a linear experience. It's not, here's your headset, go play. Like, that's what I didn't like about
Village is a full experience, though. Like, it is.
That's the only one right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, GT7. So I have a PSVR for the PlayStation 4, and Gran Turismo 5, I believe, had the PSVR mode in it, and it was a full game.
It was full to a point, though, because after you had limited courses, limited cars, from what I remember.
I can't. Well, I might be wrong. I probably am wrong. It's been years since I've even hooked that thing up. I've got it sitting in a box somewhere.
Mine's in a box. We use our Meta Quest more than anything, and I mean, and that's more Mrs. KB more than me. And I love VR. I can't get it off of her half the time.
I don't even see Beat Saber listed on here.
Yeah.
No.
What? That's
Weird.
the game that would make them some money. That is insane. But yeah, no, you're right. Every other thing on here is an experience and not a game, except for Resident Evil Village and probably Gran Turismo 7.
Well,
everything else is an experience, not a game.
You know what else is disappointing? Resident Evil 4 is on MetaQuest, and it's on all the other ones, but it's not on here, and that's already done.
I think Meta got exclusive rights to that one, though.
Probably.
The thing that kind of shows is any game that comes out for the PlayStation, yeah, it plays on there, but the devs are having a hard time updating it.
Yeah.
They're having a hard time updating any game that comes to PlayStation. Why? I don't know. Is it Sony's architecture for the way that their games
Probably.
run?
It is.
Probably.
Because every time the way that they do updates is very different from the way Microsoft does. That's why stuff stays in alpha on Microsoft's console so long, is because they can push updates quicker by staying in alpha
Makes
than
sense.
doing a full beta or a full release. And Nintendo, they have an approval process that's even longer than Sony's,
They
actually.
do, yes. Yep.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right? So,
But I mean, I don't know. It's cool to, like, VR is cool, but if you don't have a PlayStation, I wouldn't get it. I wouldn't be like, I want a PS5 and a PSVR 2 for Christmas, because good luck, kid.
Well, only now,
Like-
to be honest, we went to the shops last week, and for the first time ever, I went into EB Games and I saw a PS5 bundle that said in stock. This is 2023, and
No way.
they came out late 2020. This is the first time I've seen a PS5 in the wild ready to buy. If I had the money to buy it, you could have bought it right then and there. I already have one, so I don't need it, but stock is now finally becoming more readily available. So I suppose, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, I'm interested in VR and I want to join the Sony ecosystem, well, you now have that option, which is really great for a consumer, because it's just like, they want to get into that. I mean, the controllers look pretty neat, but the price tag is just the big turnoff. Because you already have such a high price of entry for a PS5, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more on our topic, in terms of like stuff that's available to play or possibly isn't available to play. But however, this is something that can coexist with the Sony platform. So, speaking of things on the Sony platform, Star Wars Jedi Survivor will have dismemberment. I mean, it seems like a stupidly easy idea to throw this in the game. I didn't play Fallen Order. I want to, and I need to buy it, because I don't know if it's still on Amazon for like $3, but I need to buy it for Steam Deck. But I mean, one of your Padawan dreams is waving around a lightsaber and like tearing people in half. So they're gonna have this feature in Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is pretty cool. So this game's not too far off. I know that didn't they just like recently delay this a little bit as well.
They did.
But yeah, looks pretty cool from the bits and pieces that I have seen. With
clip
trailers and stuff.
from this combat gameplay looks really smooth and clean. They've taken and upgraded a lot of the combat system in this game. In the previous one, when they released it was very that they were trying to retain their T for teen rating that it got, because they were avoiding a lot of the dismemberment stuff, and at the end of the day, combat felt like you were playing a game of Fortnite where people just disappear into the void. Like, it wasn't like actual like murder. In this game, they're going for a more realistic take that is very much in the Star Wars canon, and I like the look of it.
Makes sense. I mean, you got freaking light beams that you're going to cut people in half with. Like, why not reflect that? I mean, you're playing a video game. It's fantasticalized anyway, so why not?
Yep. There's a suspension of disbelief there. You've just got to accept at this point. So
yeah, exactly. So I'm down for it, and I'll play it when it comes out. I mean, well, maybe not when it comes out, but I'll play it anyway because I have to play Fallen Order, and I would probably play them back to back if that's going to be the case. So I look forward to checking that out.
It's a very good Soulsborne light experience. I would say light.
You can make it super easy, dude. If you're struggling, you can make it very easy, and you can just blaze right through it and just get the story if you really need to.
I didn't know that existed.
That's usually how I play games.
I'm a try hard. I have a bad problem where I'm just like, all right, let's do the hardest thing I can do. Do a lot of Kaizo. Why not do this?
Nah, it's got to be easy, super easy difficulty for me. Sorry.
I don't blame you, dude. When you get old like us, when you become elder Twitch streamers, when you get old like us, we don't have time to like just sit through the garbage of this artificial difficulty inflation.
Speaking of artificial difficulty inflation.
I was just going to say, speaking of garbage, Conradical Games is in the news again.
Oh, no. Are you serious? What's this kid doing?
This is ridiculous. This poser of a game dev is on here, and he's now DMCAing his own game now. He's saying that the developers are doing things behind his back, and let's here, I'll give you a snippet of it here. Conradical Games, a developer behind PC and Nintendo Switch platformer The Outbound Ghost, has served its publisher, Degrati, with a copyright strike. Yikes. This is the latest development in an ongoing legal battle over accusations of gameplay in Paper Mario-inspired The Outbound Ghost Nintendo Switch version, failing to meet Conradical Games' standard of quality. Okay. The Outbound Ghost has a dedicated following from its inception. The game's Kickstarter was over 50% funded one day after its launch. The game released on Steam in September 2022, with PlayStation 4 and 5 releases in the following November, and Nintendo Switch release that December. However, trouble was soon to follow the Outbound Ghost's anticipated debut. By December 12th, Conradical Games lead developer Conrad Grindheim updated the Outbound Ghost Steam page and released an accompanying statement regarding Conradical Games' dissolved relationship with publisher Degrati. The Outbound Ghost was available for sale again on Steam December 14th, but the most recent turn of events in burgeoning legal battle may explain the game no longer being listed on Steam as of today.
Oh, is it really no longer available on Steam? No way.
That is insane.
And I lost audio.
You're still here. No, that is insane. Like, this poor kid, like, he just cannot let this go. Every single thing he's doing is just, I would not, as a publisher, would never work with him if I were a publisher.
Honestly, like, I think oh my God.
Could you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine. Yep. Yeah, we heard you the entire time. But the thing that I just think is just really silly is that, like, he's doing this in such a public way that, I mean, regardless of if he's right or wrong or indifferent, everything surrounding him has really just discredited everything that he's doing with Outbound Ghost, and now, of course, he's got his other Soul Striker thing. It just makes him seem like such a tossed salad at this point. Like, nobody cares, and I would have no faith in backing a Kickstarter or whatever, because, like, if this is how he's going to handle one game that he's done with a Kickstarter, like, why would we put suspend disbelief in whatever he's building next? So
yep, I'm with you. Like, I can't get behind this dude's stuff anymore. Like, I can't. I want to support a young developer who's trying to make something that harkens back to my nostalgia at least a little bit, but I can't. Like, this dude is the freaking, oh my gosh, like the disease that won't quit in the downstairs area of video games development. Like, I can't deal with him. Like, it's just disappointing. But
Ken Sylvie's brought up a good point. It makes him seem like a child, but he is a child. He's only 22. He thinks he knows the world. Typical I'm just gonna say a typical asshole kid, man. He thinks that the world owes him something. He's got a chip on his shoulder, and he needs to get it off of there and get his head out of his ass and realize that he is not God's gift to game development.
So Bullfrog has a question. What did he do outside of speaking out? It's not the fact that he spoke out. It's how he's spoken out and how he's essentially, if he's signed a deal with a publisher or a publishing company, if he has an issue with them, he needs to say that deal with them. And I feel like there's no point in which you would go public and then really just air out that dirty laundry, especially on Twitter with like a 9-minute, 50-second video like this. I mean, this is ongoing. This is not the first time that we've talked about this on the show, but it's just
like, this is one of those things where, like, when you work with a publisher, essentially they have paid you. They pay you based on your royalties. They pay you based on XYZ thing. Or it's a one-time deal. They have paid you, and they're going to do with your game what they will, regardless of whether it meets your standard of quality or not.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, it's not even so much about what did he do besides speaking out? It is how he spoke out too, because he review bombed his own video game on the Steam page at first, started doing it that way, which is severely unprofessional. Took to Twitter to talk about his displeasure with his publisher, which is different. That's fine, but he needs to find a resolution in a private business matter if he wants to be able to work with anyone ever again. And now this, issuing a DMCA to his publisher based on something that realistically he doesn't even really own anymore. Like, that is a giant headache for the publisher. Like, at the end of the day, and no one's ever going to want to work with him. So it's just attention grab. It's attention seeking, but it's the wrong kind of attention. But I guess bad press is good press.
It's not on Steam. It's not on Steam. I'm looking at it. Like, there's the Steam community for it. But I cannot find the game like listed for sale on Steam anymore. So it's been taken down.
But like, as much as I enjoyed playing the game, it wasn't really that good. Like, it was fine. It was okay.
It's fine.
It was fine. It was fine, but it wasn't acceptable. Like, it wasn't something that I, needs to be a big deal for.
Yeah.
Like,
there were a couple of other things that are in this article, though, where he posted the video saying he DMCA'd his own indie game on his YouTube channel, and then right below that, there are a couple of allegations that he talks about. He says that Digerati fails to distribute agreed upon payments, reflecting the Outbound Ghost sales. He says that he believes Digerati is intentionally underreporting the Outbound Ghost's revenues to justify little to no residuals being paid. And then going down just a little bit more here, Sarah Alfieri made a statement saying that Conrad had not only unlawfully tampered with the Outbound Ghost Steam page, which is the review bombing, but used the sudden and tragic death of her husband as grounds for termination of their licensing agreement between Conradical Games and Digerati, which is also gross, like, at the end of the day. So, like, it's more so the how he's doing it, less so that he's doing it. Because if he were just like, hey, I'm very displeased with the quality, this doesn't meet it, that would have been totally different than the way that it's went this entire time. So legal battles ensue. Outbound Ghost continues to be a part of the indie development news, and it's just it's dumb.
Yep. There you go. I mean, best of luck to him. Hope it gets resolved, but it's just it's the way that he's done it, not how he's done it.
Yep. We do have, speaking of stuff that's actually worth a ton, not an indie game that hasn't really hit the Steam sales page anymore. We have a report from our good friends at harddrive.net. Grandma's Amiibo collection is worth a ton. It's worth a ton. So a couple of things here. If you guys have Amiibo, some of them tend to go for quite a bit.
Well, you have one too. Cool.
I do. I had to go buy it. I've got a big collection of the Splatoon ones that are over beside me, but some of them go for a lot of money. Some of them, however, are worth pennies because of reprints and various different things like this. But this is an extremely aged version of Amiibo. The article written by Kevin Potus, coming out of Tinley Park, Illinois. After agreeing to help clean out his grandma's basement in exchange for $20 in free home-cooked meal, gamer Austin Pottle stumbled upon a collection of rare Amiibo figures, and I think we've got a picture of them on screen. There they are. Rare Amiibo figurines that were reportedly quite valuable. He says, quote, "I've been collecting Amiibos since the Wii U days, but I've never seen these before." And I can agree with him. In my collection, I thought I'd collected them from the beginning, but I've also never seen those. He said he looked them up online, and guess what? They're worth a ton. He tried scanning them into Smash Bros. First, but they weren't compatible. Apparently, they're from some game called Precious Moments. I hadn't heard of it. Neither have I. Have you guys heard of Precious Moments before, Eric? Katie?
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah, I have. Someone in my family used to collect them.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
They may be worth a ton. You need to go look in those attics. He does go on to say it seems like it's pretty popular. I wonder how much a physical copy costs. Austin's grandma, Beverly Pottle, was happy to see him get motivated about something for a change. His cousin Danny Lefebvre, though, caught wind of Austin's motives because Austin's looking to sell these. And he says, "Oh, no, I've had my eye on those figurines for years. I think they're Figmas or possibly Nendroids. At press time, the whole family has shown up at a garage sale to make a few bucks, which was the first time they'd all been together in the same place in years." And back to you.
There you go. I think that's wonderful. And if you have some of those Precious Moments Amiibos, let us know.
Yep. Let us know. Which one's your favorite?
Can I just say that Amiibos are actually worth quite a bit? Like I've mentioned this before, but like when I was selling all my stuff off for Earthbound, I sold a ton of Amiibos for like, I think I probably sold a good maybe 20 Amiibos for close to $500.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm not.
My gosh.
I'm not exaggerating. Like, so the Breath of the Wild Amiibos were like $80 each. And it's funny because now that they've reprinted them, like there's less of a demand for them, so value will go down. So I feel like I just got out of that stock market right when it was about to price change. So that's pretty good. So hold on to your Amiibos, or maybe just sell them off. I don't know. Personally, I'd say sell them off. They ain't going to be worth anything if that's what you're trying to do.
Just buy cards.
Yep.
Just buy cards.
So speaking of selling things off that are old and buying them back, guess what is coming back? Legend of frickin' Dragoon, baby. Let me tell you how excited I am about this. So I read the news Friday morning, and I typically don't care a lick about PlayStation Plus, and never once have I felt compelled to buy it or invest in it. But PlayStation Plus is getting its digital debut in Europe as Japan Studios classic Legend of Dragoon Returns. So Japan Studios is synonymous. God Almighty. With games synonymous, like with games like Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, and of course Legend of Dragoon. So Legend of Dragoon was meant to be like a PlayStation killer back in the day, and did it end up doing that? Not really, but Sony Studios ended up making a really classic JRPG as a result, which spanned 4 discs back on the PS1. So this is a really great game, and the fact that it's even now becoming available is insane. Not to mention that PlayStation head Shuhei Yoshida was the producer for this game, so it's got some PS royalty involved. This is really great. This is really, really great news, and it's going to have some quality of life stuff like up rendering, like they've called it in the article, which is like upscaling save states and some CRT filters. So please look forward to that. I made a video on it the other day, and people are buzzed about it, and I'll tell you why and how I know this, because my videos typically don't do this well, but my Legend of Dragoon video is up to 827 views within the first 1 day and 10 hours. My videos don't perform like that ever, but I just knew it would be a hot topic, and I was really excited to discuss that. Legend of Dragoon is a great game. It's not a perfect game, but it's a really fun game, and I've got a lot of nostalgia for it. It's really great.
Well, one of the things that I was talking about, I didn't realize it wasn't a Square game. That just felt like a Square game to me. I didn't realize it was a Sony Studios title. And you were over in my stream the other day asking me about it, and like my elevator pitch for that game straight up is QTEs mixed with turn-based combat make for a really, really cool different thing. You get to transform into dragon fairies at the end of the day, and the main character's name is Dart. What more could you want? Like, it is a very unique fantasy-inspired turn-based JRPG that I think anyone who wants a different experience should play, because it doesn't play like any other game that I've played in that genre necessarily. So, but if you want to know more about that game, they can find a video that you put out. Yeah, go over to Eric Ladd's YouTube channel.
And you know what? It was so good that I decided to put Legend of Dragoon Dart's theme on my turn-based vinyl. I have one
of my favorite turn-based tracks you have on there too. It's so good.
I have an affinity for Legend of Dragoon. I played it back in the day. I never got very far, but I remember like a good old Nedist in the chat had it as well. Like, we both had it growing up. I don't know how much he's played it, but yeah, I came back to it recently when I was going through a JRPG kick, playing a bunch of games on my PSP Go. Legend of Dragoon was one of those games, and I played through all of it. Man, it was such a great game. Like, even considering that game came out in the year 2000, graphically looks really great. This is, one of those pre-rendered games. Sorry, the backgrounds are pre-rendered. It's beautiful. Like, the CGI cutscenes look really great. Like, somebody commented on my YouTube video, and I actually kind of agree with this. They said it almost looks like a PS2 game. It's a beautiful looking game. I mean, I'm sure they sank a lot of money into it. Commercially didn't do super well, but they were making a sequel that got canned. I mean, there's people that want more Legend of Dragoon. And the funny thing is like, games like this, same thing with Earthbound as well. When games don't usually perform commercially very well, they end up becoming cult hits, and millions of more people get interested in games like this. So Legend of Dragoon coming back now on PlayStation Plus, this will make me subscribe to PS Plus or PS Premium or whatever, because not only do I want to play the game again, but I also want to show the support, because I don't know what kind of metrics they're running over at Sony. I want them to know that I want more of this, so I will play that game. So please check it out if you haven't.
1000%. I'm with you.
KB,
that's a good segue topic, though. I think, or into our actual topic, a good segue into it. So you want to flip on over? So guys, we're going to be discussing the recent developments in the console gaming world and whether or not PlayStation is being left behind in the console war. How does competition from Xbox and Nintendo, lack of exclusive titles, and shortages of hardware, among others, factor into this? And I mean, at the end of the day, I want to pose a question to you guys. What would it take to bring you back to your PlayStation? With the return of the classic games on the system, is it enough to make you want to dig it out? I think we all kind of know KB's answer, so I'm going to save him for last.
Let's ask KB.
I'm kidding.
Where's your PS5 right now? Where is it?
Under my bed, unplugged. where it belongs.
It's the monster under the bed.
It is the monster under the bed. It is unplugged. Under there, not a care in the world. I think I've probably kicked it a bunch of times. I know when I put my when I'm done playing my Steam Deck, I usually tuck it under the bed on the edge so I don't step on it, or I don't something doesn't fall on it. And I know that one night I think I pushed my PlayStation 5 further into the middle under the bed, so it's right where it belongs.
Out of reach.
Yeah, out of reach.
Just like for a lot of people who weren't early adopters of it, out of reach.
Yeah, out of reach, baby. Out of reach. There is absolutely nothing that garbage company can do to get me to play their stupid system.
Oh my gosh. Nothing?
Nothing. They want to, their charging thing is stupid. Their PS1 games are junk. They're not anything cool. They're not anything to write home about. The PS2 games aren't the greatest. They struggle with everything. Sony struggles with life, man, and it pisses me off to no end that they're still a thing. Go away.
Wow.
Go away. Go the way of Sega. Quit making consoles. Make games, because that's all you do is remake the same 5 games you've ever had. So goodbye. Goodbye, Sony. Goodbye. Go away. Go away. I'm playing Minecraft now. Goodbye.
I'm sorry, chat.
Goodbye. The console war, Sony lost the console war years ago. They won it with the PS2, they lost it with the PS3, and they still cannot dig themselves out of the hole they put themselves in with that. Whoever the hell is running the company now sucks. The guy in Japan who runs it, he sucks. The guy in Sony of Europe, he sucks. Sony America, he sucks. They all suck. I don't care. I'm just saying it's a hot take, and I'm standing by it, dude. Microsoft won this year. Microsoft will continue to win. You know why? Because Microsoft has games. Sony does not. Microsoft doesn't go, here's a game. Here's The Last of Us. Okay, watch. Here's The Last of Us again. Oh, wait. Last of Us again. Let's have it 5 more times. Like, get your head out of your ass, Sony. Come on.
I'm just looking at chat go by, the live chat, and I'm like, oh no.
I'm just
Oh, no.
like, I mean, they have not worried about the gamer or the consumer in years. So why are they going to start now? They're giving you underperforming games. They're giving you PS1 games that are from the PAL region. We all know Europe sucked for games back in the 90s. Their games run significantly slower. They suck. Give us NTSC or bust, man. It leaked, their list leaked, and then they go, oh, well, we're adding it back in. Oh, thank you, Sony, for adding it back in. Thank you. After we called you out, thank you. Thank you for doing something that should have been there from the start. Like,
I
where's
agree.
Infamous? Where's the Infamous franchise? Where's that at? Where's Infamous at? Second Son was the last one. Where's that at? Where's it at, Sony? Give it here? We'll give you Ratchet and Clank. All right, so they gave you the same watered down BS that they did from the last one. Where's Sly Cooper? Where's that at? Oh, Joel and Ellie got to have their story retold 1,000 times, and remastered 7 different ways to Sunday for them to get something. So no, my PlayStation will forever stand under that bed. There's nothing that's going to make me get PS Plus anymore. Nothing going to make me get the premium tier. Nothing going to make me get the other tier. I rest my case.
I like how Eric just goes, I agree.
Well, if we want to step back and just look at it different way, not only like the console manufacturing issues, because of course when the world shut down, everything went to hell, whatever, and things became inaccessible, and of course demand went up. So the demand for a console went up. Therefore, it made people want PS5s. So when people when people can't get something, then they want it even more. If we really want to objectively look at how much content has been on the PS5, put it this way. I was jonesing for a PS5. The first thing that I did was play Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate on PS5. And that was really like the last game that I completed on PS5. And that's like last year when I got it. The only things coming out this year that I will play on PS5 are going to be Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That's it. Those are the only 2 PS5 games that I will probably buy this year, unless somebody buys me God of War. There's really nothing aside from Legend of Dragoon, right? It's so funny because like even people commenting on my video, like I'm so excited, and even though this was the thing, it's like, yes, you know, out of all these games coming out, like Octopath Traveler 2 is coming out soon. Like I'm more excited to play Legend of Dragoon, a 23-year-old Sony Studios JRPG title, than pretty much anything else coming out on PS5 at the moment. But if we want to step back even further, KB's right. Like they killed it with the PS2. PS3 was kind of lackluster. There's a lot of sleeper hits on PS3, a lot of JRPGs as well. If you guys get into that, PS4 was marginally okay, but I feel like they're just kind of struggling a little bit as well in terms of like their brand identity, what they're doing, what they're going for. The best thing that Sony could do right now, in my opinion, would be reintroduce a handheld to the market. And just absolutely slay it, just because people want more of that. People want more stuff on the go. Give me that. PS5, mine's been unplugged for months, and it's going to get plugged in June when Final Fantasy 16 comes out. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's it. I'm sorry to say that because I think the PS5 is cool, but there's just nothing there. Still,
yeah, that's my biggest thing. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. There's absolutely nothing there. You cannot sit there and defend Sony and say, oh, they got a bunch of games. You can't sit there and go, well, they have Returnal. I have it now on Steam Deck. Runs real good there.
yeah.
So what do you have? What do you have, Sony? Like, that's why I stand by what I said. They should just stop making consoles. They're not good at it. If you're going to release a console called the PS3 and say, get a second job if you want to play it, what kind of business model is that? You know what I mean?
Dude, did somebody say that?
That was their Sony of Japan CEO said when PS3 came out.
Yes.
Get a second. You want this console? Get a second job. That right there was the start of their anti-consumer right there. That was it. And that's all they are, is anti-consumer. They shouldn't call it PlayStation, just call it the anti-consumer machine. because the people that have the following, that's great. You guys love something, you stand by it, and you're going to tell people like me that I'm going to go play Nintendo and play Minecraft, but like, pound salt, yo, because like your console sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like,
let's hear.
I'm done. I need to mute my mic because I'll keep going.
No, it's fine. Let's hear it, Cody. What's your standpoint? Where are you at?
You know, at the end of the day, I've had my PlayStation mounted to my wall beside of my TV for months, waiting for a reason to go back to it, waiting for a genuinely good reason to go back to it. For me, God of War, that ain't it. I'm not the largest God of War fan. I think God of War is okay. It's okay in my book. It's okay. But there are a lot of titles that I think they made a mistake with, in the sense of giving it to the general populace through Steam. That is the thing that is keeping anybody from wanting to play their PlayStation 5. Because why do I need to play my PlayStation 5 if I can buy it elsewhere?
Yes.
Returnal was kind of the final straw. I loved that game. And the fact that the DualSense works with Steam Deck or Steam the way that it is intended to be used on a PS5 makes me not even need to plug it into my PS5.
Exactly. It's the same thing. Like, these games have these features with the PS5 control. So it's like, I don't even need the PS5 anymore.
Yep. The Essentials collection, that is a good start, because that gives people a chance, like you mentioned, to go back and play these 20-plus-year-old games. Is it the best, most optimal way to play them? No. The best, most optimal way to play them is to buy a PlayStation 1 or 2 in your region and buy the disc for that and spin through the nose for that just as much as you would spend on a PS5. Mm-hmm. But is it a way, if you were already in that ecosystem, to play them in a moderately affordable sense? Yes. It will be the most affordable way for you to be able to play Legend of Dragoon right now. Mm-hmm. It is. If you're already in the ecosystem.
I mean.
But the thing that would drag me back, which is going to be Final Fantasy, like you said. Mm-hmm. Both of the Final Fantasies that are happening this year. Mm-hmm. The thing that would drag me back is that actual exclusivity. And that's what Nintendo does better than anybody else. You're not going to play Mario. You're not going to play Legend of Zelda. You're not going to play Metroid on any other way that is legal for you to be able to play, in the sense that it is on OG hardware or emulated in a proper manner through legal means, unless you buy a Nintendo console. Xbox, I think they understand where they stand. They put out these consoles. If they get bought, they get bought, because it doesn't really matter to them. Their fingers are in everything PC. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter to them. And at the end of the day, the only way to play a lot of the stuff that's through Game Pass, I mean, it's not going to be through a Steam Deck, unless you work around it to try to get Game Pass on your Steam Deck. So that is Xbox's current business model. Sony's business model? People can't play our games on our consoles because they can't afford them. Let's just take their money on Steam.
It's so funny because, like, as you were talking there, I was just scrolling through the prices of new games by popularity on ebgames.com.au. Mm-hmm. Hogwarts Legacy, $109.95. Wild Hearts, $109.95. Dead Space, $109.95. Pre-owned God of War Ragnarok, $98. Forspoken, $114.95. WWE 2K23 Deluxe Edition, $149.95. Final Fantasy 16 Deluxe Edition, $169.95. Who is paying this? Why would I will buy Final Fantasy 16 new because that's going to be the only way to play it. So I will pay whatever's on that sticker. But everything else, how can people afford to be a part of the Sony ecosystem, especially in countries where these games are? Yeah, I get it. Look, minimum wage here is like $21. it costs me less time to earn the money to go buy a game than it would for somebody in the States if your minimum wage is still $8 somewhere. Like I get that. I get the financials of all that, but just in general, looking at a price, as Bullfrog says, this is exactly how I was going to finish my sentence. This is why Game Pass is a really great option, for example. And this is why exclusivity on Nintendo consoles is a really great option, because you're getting experiences that you can't get anywhere else. Like I can play Hogwarts Legacy on PC or Steam Deck.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I could play God of War in probably another year on Steam Deck or PC. Same thing with Final Fantasy 16. These are timed exclusives right now, even though they're not saying that for Sony.
On this list of games from Sony, Returnal is on Steam. Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales is on Steam. Days Gone, Steam. God of War 1, Steam. Horizon Zero Dawn on Steam. Death Stranding on Steam. Demon Souls. Is that one on Steam?
Yep.
Demon Souls on Steam.
I think so.
Ghost of Tsushima. Steam?
Not yet, though. Coming to Steam.
It's
coming.
Because Sony said almost all of their first-party software will be on PC by 2024, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That is very cool as a person who wants to back Sony's games.
Yeah.
It is very stupid as a person who owns a PS5.
I know.
And here's the thing, man. Let me ask you guys something. You both said, I will wait to buy Final Fantasy VII Part 2 on PlayStation. You will wait to be 16. Final Fantasy VII Part 2 is already going to be on Steam day one. So why wait? So but you can hook it up to your Steam Deck, hook that up to your TV, and hook your PlayStation 5 controller up, and your DualSense will work the way it should on a PlayStation 5.
I did that with Crisis Core. I mean, the Crisis Core remake doesn't support DualSense stuff. But, it just felt like I was playing.
I don't think there was anything DualSense in the Crisis Core remake for PS5 anyway.
No, because that was just a straight
port.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, that is the one and only thing that they could do to drag me back, is to stop allowing me to be able to buy it somewhere else.
And here's the thing, man. Yeah. Microsoft is working on a native Linux Game Pass support. So Game Pass PC will be on Linux. So you will be playing without the workaround Game Pass on your Steam Deck. At that point, why do I need something else? Why do I need another thing?
I do want to ask you guys, because we've kind of touched on the competition from Xbox and Nintendo, with Game Pass being an actual good thing for gamers. Nintendo having their exclusivity, their lack of exclusive titles. The one thing we didn't touch on during this rant fest was the shortages of hardware. And do you guys believe that has created a divide for gamers as a whole, who would be willing to play those games on PlayStation versus Steam because they just don't have it? Is that why they're getting left behind in the console wars as well? Is just because they did not put it out there? I know at the top of the hour, Eric, you mentioned that you passed by an EB Games and they actually had them in stock, but it's the first time in 3 years that it's been available.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I saw a lot more Xboxes when I was working at GameStop than I did PlayStation. And they sold significantly slower than PlayStation's did. So I don't know if it is the shortages of hardware that has caused this console generation for Sony to be as cruddy as it is, or if it's all these other factors.
I think it's poor leadership and poor vision. Like, they have an idea, but it just hasn't been conceptualized very well. And I hate to say that about Sony, because I love Sony growing up. Like, it's a different it's a different Sony now, though. That's the thing. It's different people leading the company, so it's going in a different direction. So I just think this generation is a bit of a wash for them, unfortunately. There's going to be some great games and great software on there. But, that's all there is.
In the bigger picture, man, Sony just they're not there. Their CEO, not of Sony Japan, their CEO of the North America region and Europe region, both said they don't understand why people want to play old games. They don't understand it. That's why their consoles have not had backwards compatibility. Now, why is it that the neckbeard living in his mom's basement can figure out how to pull PS1 and PS2 BIOS from a PS3 firmware update right off of Sony's main website? How can someone like that do it? But Sony's engineers go, I don't know. This all looks like, letters and numbers to me. So how are they doing that bad?
It's tone deafness.
And like that's what kills me is these people, these basement
rats.
urchins come at me. They come at me and they're like, "Oh, go play on your Nintendo Switch, buddy. I'll play Nintendo Switch on my Steam Deck. I'll play circles around whatever you want to throw at me. You cannot. There's nothing you can say or do to make me side with you that Sony is the end all be all console. Back when I was a kid, PS1 was phenomenal. You could not touch it. That's why I didn't have an N64 because I thought PlayStation 1 was God. PS2 came out. What else do you need? It's a DVD player. You know what I mean? Go watch your movies and play your games. But like, they're just Sony's business model is going downhill. Microsoft is trying to do whatever Microsoft wants to do to bring everybody together. Sony just now came out with a controller for the handicapped. Just now. What took so long? Did they figure that's an untapped market or something? Like, what took so long?
I feel like that was a response to Xbox. I feel like they wouldn't have done that if Xbox didn't come out with an accessible controller. I 100%. That's my firm thoughts.
Like,
again, they don't want the poor to play their games. They definitely don't want the handicapped to play them.
Like, get out of your ivory tower, and like. What are they doing? That's why, like, I'm happy with unplugging mine and leaving it under the bed where it deserves. It's lucky it's not going to end up in storage in next couple months.
I will be honest here, though. Like, when I think about the systems and their brand identity and what they look like, Nintendo is the station wagon of video games. It's where you put your family. It's the cool minivan. It's the Honda Odyssey. Like, it is whatever. It's where you put your family in. You can go to town. You can go get your groceries. You can have a good time. You don't have to worry about seeing a murder because you didn't take them down to the gambling areas. Like, it's fine. Xbox is more like the frat boy, frat house shooter console. Like, this is, I got this like really cool like rundown minivan with no seats in the back we can pile all our friends into. We'll go to hooker bars and all this other stuff, whatever. Like, that's what that reminds me of. But when I think about Sony Interactive Entertainment and some of the stuff that they've talked about with, like we said, if you want to buy this PlayStation, get a second job. If you want to do this thing, you must do this. Sony Interactive Entertainment is the Rolls Royce of video game consoles. There's a prestige there to that name. That prestige, I don't believe, has been tarnished in many gamers' eyes because, I mean, if you look at God of War and how many awards it's won, if you look at how many times they've pushed out Last of Us and Last of Us 2 and people have bought it and chewed it up and ate it up, if you look at all of the acquisitions that they've made within their own gaming development headquarters, like, this place is protected by their ivory tower that they've built because of brand identity.
Exactly.
They aren't worried about our opinions as gamers.
No doubt.
They don't care that Breakfast of Champions podcast just gave the 30-minute hot take that we just gave against them. But what they are going to continue to do is isolate themselves more and more and more because they're too reliant upon that brand identity, that fewer and fewer people are ever going to opt into their ecosystem. Fewer and fewer people are going to stay with them. And regardless of whether or not you buy their console, they are going to go the way of Sega and continue to produce games because that's all they've got left.
And I'd be fine with that. Just become a game producer. You don't have to make consoles anymore because you already proved you can't. You can't keep up supply and demand. Maybe you don't have... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I was looking up previous important people within PlayStation and how long they were there. And if you look at it, I think there's one person that you can blame. And that is Jim Ryan.
Yep.
Who replaced an American who replaced John or Tsuyoshi Kodera, who stepped down in April of 2019. Jim Ryan is the person that you want to blame here. Andrew House was another person from 2011 to 2017 I would argue that was during another downfall. These are people who are outside of that family who have developed that, and there's a reason that like places like Nintendo have retained the prestige that they have as much as they have because those businesses have stayed within the family.
Mm-hmm.
There is no vision, no unique collective vision. They don't know what they're wanting because you're getting a new guy from an outside source to come and help run your business.
Well, I mean, look at this though. Look at this now, and hear me out. Nintendo got an outside guy to run their company, Reggie, and look how good that did. Sony tries to copy. They don't do their own thing. Sony copies, man. Sony is the Chinese of the gaming thing. They look like, what is this? What is this? What is this right here? How many?
Pocket.
And where's this from? China. How many different versions? Yeah, how many different versions of this kind of console exist? Because China's good at making clone units. Sony's good at making clone business plans, and they're usually bunk, man. Like they're not good.
I think the thing though is the leadership and the vision, and again, the retaining that brand identity from Sony. Because when you look at it this way, if you're getting somebody outside to run your company, the reason why Reggie did so well is yes, he was a successful business person, but at the same time, he had the experience and he was a fan of games. I couldn't tell you the first thing about Jim Ryan, if he even likes games or not. A lot of these people take these jobs because, or they get these jobs or get offered these jobs because they have a background in business, not necessarily a background in games. This is one of the reasons why Iwata did so well is because he came from, developing games. Like he had a hand in getting Earthbound off the ground and the original Pokemon games. He developed games and then he got promoted internally and then he led the company. Where's Jim Ryan? What's he doing? Where does he come from? What's his background? I don't know anything about him, so I'm kind of speaking perhaps unknowledgeably. But the thing is like, I just don't understand like what Sony's trying to get. Like they're putting all this flash technology out there. But me as like the fan who's been a fan of Sony since the late 90s, like I remember when my parents took me to Walmart to get my PS1 on layaway. Those were good days. I don't know if we're going to see that version of Sony again. And if we don't, that's okay because we have things like Steam or Steam Deck where we can play those great games. And half the great games that are on PS5 anyway aren't even first party. So It doesn't matter. Nope.
I mean, I could tell you this much, man, and this is another hot take, but Jim Ryan can go eat a bag of chips, yo. Okay, I mean, I'm saying it clean because I was like, I was ready with the big button. I've dropped some words on here, but Jim Ryan can absolutely go eat a bag of chips, dude. He knows not what he's doing to that company.
He's been with them as the president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment. Originally joined Sony Interactive Entertainment Europe in 1994. He's been with them since 94, but he still doesn't know jack diddly about what he's doing with this company, so I don't know.
Where was he working before? What did he do before?
That's a good question.
Here's a good question. Returnal was supposed to be their biggest hit. You want to know how many copies it sold?
I do want to know.
Take guess. How many copies of Returnal were sold?
700,000.
I would say 1.25.
Nope. 560,000.
I was close.
That's probably
so bad.
That's probably how many consoles are in the wild right now.
Whoops, wrong button.
What's the last game that came out? What was it? Forspoken. Okay.
Oh man, that was
supposed to be their big thing. People were all about it, singing its praises, man, singing its praises.
So, listen to this. So allegedly, the PS5 has sold 32 million units in total, with 7.1 million consoles sold in the last 3 months alone. What are people playing on it? I'm being totally dead ass honest. What are people playing? I don't know.
All the games that are released on Steam already. For significantly
They're playing all that. They're playing all of the They're playing all the PS4 games that when I first got my PS5,
they're all
it was
playing
funny.
Destruction All Stars. That's what they're like.
I thought it was very funny to see people say in the very, like, what was it, episode 3 or 4, Eric, whenever people told us to go play Minecraft on our Nintendo Switch,
man.
they said, oh, what do you mean Sony has no games? They have PS5 has Ghost of Tsushima. It's like, bro, that was a PS4 game patched in to work on the PS5 and to look good.
You know, the thing that always upset me as like an employee at GameStop is the people who would come in begging me for a PS5 when I didn't have them and telling me they just want to play new Madden on there. That's it.
Okay.
You're looking for the most exclusive console in the world to play Madden?
Yeah.
A game that comes out every year on the same console with the same experience, not a single difference. That's what people are playing on there. They're playing Call of Duty, they're playing Madden, and that's it.
So I can't seem to find the exact sales number for Forspoken, but here's something that's funny. You can buy it on Steam.
Madden?
No, Forspoken.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I was like, wait, Madden?
So that was supposed to be their big, it's in the Sony, whatever the stupid direct that they ripped off from Nintendo. That was supposed to be a thing, and guess what? Gotta buy it on Steam. So why do I need?
Supposedly it runs okay on deck too. You know.
So like, what? What do I need that for? What do I need? What do I need?
You could, but why would you want to? So I think to encapsulate that, because I feel like we could run on for a while. Like Sony is struggling, and I think it's best for all of us consumer, entertainer, video gamer people. It's best when everybody succeeds. Okay, it's best when we have freedom of choice. Put it that way. I think it's that
gaming to succeed.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do too.
It's a wash now for Sony. I want to see them succeed, but we just don't know where their future lies. And the other thing as well, like I said, Sony would really kill it if they came out in the handheld market again. If they came up with something to compete with Steam Deck, but then again, like Steam Deck's just that wild card that like it's not a Switch killer, but it's an everything else killer. So how could a handheld compete? I don't know. It's food for thought for all you guys out there.
I mean, you know why PlayStation sucks, and I'll give you my closing thought. Minecraft isn't on it.
It's not.
It's a PlayStation 4.
It is not.
You can play your PlayStation 4 version on PS5.
It's not. There's no official PS5 one. I thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread, brother. You know what I'm saying? I just want to play. I want to punch trees in 4K.
Oh my gosh, that's so
there you go. With
that's
that, let's head on to over to our wrap up. Three, two, one. We are here with our wrap up, and we have a really great one that we kept tabled from last week, which I thought would be really funny. Is reading some of the worst reviews from some places that we frequent. And what spawned this is because one of the worst places that I've had service at recently is my local post office. There's we'll get into this in a second, but KB, have you got yours? Nerdwire, you've got yours.
I'm still looking for mine. You guys go ahead, do me last.
Cody, you've got yours, so why don't you tee yours up? Why don't you tell us what yours is too?
Okay, I'm gonna sandwich these because I have one from a local local Wendy's that's really freaking hilarious. But I also have two selected from the GameStop that I worked at. Whenever I was a measly little store manager, and I thought it was pretty funny. So the first one here, not quite as funny. Just I think it's funny. This was done a year ago from anonymous user Nick. Says Ashland GameStop. Yeah, there we go. Okay, well, doxed myself. Says GameStops are a whole different store than most. I've never seen a place automatically find reasons to not accept a trade-in that was accepted at another store. I told my friend I'll try it down here, just like we thought they wouldn't give one of the weirdest excuses for an item that originally came from a GameStop. This game was Madden 2020. Some of the staff is really nice and some are extremely rude and evasive. I recommend going to the one in the next closest town. So that was a review. Yeah, I did. You guys go away. That'll get cut out later. But from the Wendy's that's nearby, lady at Wendy's said, "I'm going to lose my all because I wanted to change my chicken sandwich to a spicy chicken sandwich. 1 star."
My God.
And then finally, also from my GameStop, 3 stars. Not that big.
What?
Oh,
I don't know. Not that big.
I've been personally attacked.
I feel the same. What does that mean? Not that big.
nothing
3
impressive.
stars.
Not that big. 3 stars,
Could
man.
have more girth. I don't know. Stupid.
Oh my God.
So-
Anyway, while I'm busy doxing myself, you take it away. Somebody else.
Mine stems from when I was doing the Kickstarter posting, because I was going to the post office every day. I would go in with a stack of 20 records at a time. I've been doing my QuickBooks stuff for tax, because our tax season is different here in Australia. So I've been looking at transactions like Australia Post, $597, $480. This is for mailing stuff overseas, right? So whatever. It was a very expensive endeavor, but I came to have a very weird relationship with the people at the post office, because there was one particular guy who was such an asshole. I'm not even kidding. He's so rude. And Amber went there last week to post something off, because when Amber signs on or when clients sign on with Amber, she usually sends them like a little gift pack or a welcome pack, whatever. And she's like, "Man, the guy behind the counter is so rude." And I'm like, you know what? Let's read the Google reviews. So I've pulled up the Australia Post for the local one here. Man, this one's a dead ringer right away. Yay, a new post office is opening in X town. That's awesome. No, it isn't. And it's garbage service as usual. I show them my business ID to scan. They don't scan it. It gets halfway through the process, then realize I had my phone held out to them, because usually I'll show you what happens. Because when you have an Australia Post business thing, you can give them a QR code and they scan it for you. You get a 20% discount on postage.
Oh, yeah.
This staff member was some elderly lady with blonde whiskey hair. She blamed me. She didn't scan it. This is my fault. The fat guy behind the counter is disgustingly rude and couldn't be more obvious of his distaste to his job. He's pathetic, slow, and arrogant. He sees a line of people and decides to walk the other way. Honestly, I don't know how Australia Post haven't fired him. Consistently bad service. I'm yet to meet an employee there who is friendly. Oh, yeah. Really bad customer service, especially from the manager, who is so rude, never says hi or anything, turns around when there are people waiting there and goes out to the bag. Unfriendly, unhelpful, slow at serving. Wouldn't help. This is the most recent review. Or wouldn't hurt if the staff members would smile once in a while, or at least be semi-polite. How are you? Rude staff came to pick up a package, realized I forgot my ID. They say if I showed anything else with my name or address on it, they wouldn't accept that. Showed them a gas bill, Centerlink card, rental agreement, working with children's check, and they said none of them are adequate enough. Ridiculous. So, I'm telling you, this guy is such a prick. To the point where I can't go there anymore. Going postal is a phrase.
Going postal, man. I'll tell you what. So you guys know, I like sandwiches, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a chain of sandwich shops called Jersey Mike's. Love it. I would eat there every day if I could. Apparently, old K, literally just the letter K, they did not have such a good time. And this is a short and sweet one. 1 star a month ago. I literally got the worst sandwich of my life from there. This place served me the most crusty, soggy, warm, cold sandwich ever. Because they put 5, exclamation marks at the end of that. The store owner responded to them, okay? And they said, "I'm so sorry to hear about your experience. Please reach out to," and then they dropped their name, the store manager's name and email, and they said, we can correct the issue. It's a sandwich, bro. It's like, if it's soggy, maybe you shouldn't get the dressing on it. If it's not, they didn't say if they ate it there. They didn't say if they took it home. If you take it home, yeah, it's not gonna be piping hot. Like, are you stupid? You know what I mean? Like, I hate
these people just don't understand how temperature works.
It's the general public. That's exactly what it is. And anyone who's ever worked retail or restaurant, no, the general public is the dumbest group of people.
Oh yeah,
on this earth. They have no clue what they're doing. They don't know what they want. If you go to McDonald's, Eric, I know you've probably seen this. The guy drives up to the thing ahead of you. Hi, welcome to McDonald's. What would you like? 1 minute, please. Brother, how don't you know it's burgers and chicken sandwiches? How don't you know what you want? Like, how don't you know? It's sandwiches. It's Italian hoagies. It's a submarine shop for those who know what a hoagie is. Like,
yeah.
It's cold cuts, brother.
It's a sub sandwich for those of you that don't know what a submarine is.
So, like, what did you think? You were gonna get a panini when you go there? Go next door to Panera if you want a friggin' panini, dude. Like,
you almost said.
I'm on one today, brother.
You're hot. Sony done got you all messed up. Now Jersey Mike's does too, man. Like, it's fine.
It's the dude. I love Jersey Mike's, man. Like, I've had soggy stuff, some bread before. Yeah, you know why? Because I told him put vinegar on it. So you know what I did next time? No vinegar.
You put vinegar in a cup, took home with you,
or I just used the vinegar I have at home. Like,
yeah, it's fine.
I don't, and like, that's what a logical person would do. The general public would go, nah, I don't understand why my bread's soggy. It's bread. It's not supposed to be soggy.
Why is my biscuit soggy? Why is there 10 other guys near me? I don't understand.
You know what I'm saying, dude? Like, I don't understand. It's like going to Subway and going like, where's the subs at? I just go to the train station. Where's that? I don't know.
Come on.
Like,
what's that face for, Cody? Well, you look bright red in the face. What's going on over there?
Yeah. Do you do that, Cody?
You got another story for us?
Do you ask people why your biscuits soggy?
Why don't you tell us, to wrap the show up, why don't you tell us about the time that you were doing a census? And let's hear about that.
Here we go. So this was years ago. This is like before Courtney and I met. It may have been like right around the time that we were meeting each other. And I worked for the U.S. Census Bureau as what they call a surveyor, where essentially what I did was I would map all the roads, and I would go I would go out and visit homes, walk up, knock on the door, say, "Hey, my name is Cody. I'm here to give you this survey. If you'd be so kind to fill this out and just drop it in your local blue box, that would be wonderful. So that way we could kind of get an idea of how many people live in your household, blah, blah, blah." But my main job was to map the roads. It was less so about talking to the people at the homes, because eventually you would just get mailed that anyway if you had an address. So I remember I pulled up. It was a very, very, very long day of driving around in rural backwoods Southeast America. And I pull up to this house, and it's very quiet. It's like a single wide trailer out in the middle of the woods. Like, nobody should live there. Like, they have these dogs yapping in the yard. I pull up. I've got this like yellow light on the top of my Chrysler vehicle. Get out, walk up to the door. I get ready to knock on the door, but I hear a lot of that. I mean, it sounds like a lot of people in there giving a round of applause. Like, it is like someone is very proud at that moment of the things that they are seeing.
Maybe they were all just clapping and watching a movie, you know?
Oh yeah, I thought, what could it be? So like, because like I don't want to interrupt anything, and there's a lot of loud screaming going on. I lean and I look at the window beside the door.
Oh no.
And when I look in the window, I'm like, oh, what's going on? I realize that was the worst mistake I ever made in my entire life, because in there are about 8 individuals partaking in possibly the upside down pineapple party of the century. all of them just buck wild, hillbilly naked, just going at it. And
Smacking cheeks.
I go, oh, and walk away as quickly as I can because I don't want to be noticed. I unplug my yellow light because I'm like, I definitely don't want to be noticed. I'm sure they didn't either. Get in my car, pull away about another mile away, mark that there's a house there, and they give you a reason for why you didn't visit it. And I said, unsafe. Unsafe conditions.
I wasn't the only thing pulling away that night.
Or was it?
Yep. Well, with that being said, thank you so much, everybody, for watching episode 31. We're going to love you and leave you there. We'll be back after this quick post-show message, but any final thoughts, KB and Nerdwire, before we love you and leave you?
I think I have no thoughts at this point. All I can think about is that terrible site I saw years ago. So anyway, that's my sign off.
Don't forget your towel.
Don't forget. Oh, yeah, they're going to need it.